A statue of Millicent Fawcett will be unveiled in Parliament Square in April. It'll be the first statue of a woman ever to feature in the square. Greg Mackenzie, our reporter, is at the South London school to which Millicent sent her daughter. Hello, Greg. Good morning to you.
Well, good morning, Vanessa. I am with students at Streatham and Clapham High School here in southwest London. Now, this school was founded back in 1887. It's one of 25 schools which make up the Girls' Day School Trust, where Millicent Garrett Fawcett entrusted the education of her only daughter, Philippa. Now, the Girls' Day Trust School was founded by 4 pioneering women who were fearless in their pursuit of providing opportunities for girls. And with me are 3 of the students. So we've got Pippa, Kezia, Libby, and we've even got the headmaster, Dr. Millan, Sachania. So we'll start with you, Pippa. I mean, you're here at the school, historical here. In terms of quality and the way forward, you are the next generation. I mean, how important is today for you?
I think today is incredibly important. Obviously, we have to honour the sacrifice that these women made to get us the vote, but there is still a lot of work to do in terms of equality.
And in terms of yourself, Libby, I mean, you're 16, so you can't vote. Do you think things need to change?
I don't think things need to change so that 16-year-olds should vote, but I think it's more important to engage everyone above the age of 18, make sure they're voting every time, taking full advantage of the democracy that they have, which a lot of other women in other countries don't, whether you're 16 or 18.
And Kezia, do you want to add to that? I mean, you're 17.
Yes, so I'll be voting in when I'm 18. So I feel like I will need to use my voice. If I have this privilege, I have to use it. And a lot of women in other countries don't have it. So the least I can do is use it every time to my advantage.
And do you feel kind of special being part of this school's trust? I mean, the Girls' Day Schools Trust is steeped in history. Was that an active choice in choosing to come to this school? Pippa?
Well, not necessarily in choosing the school, but it has really impacted me. It's really enfranchised me to pursue whatever I want, whether that's a STEM career, so that's science, technology, engineering, mathematics, or something like English and history. I've never felt inhibited from choosing any career, whether it's masculine or feminine.
Okay, and let's bring in their headmaster here, so Dr. Millan Sachania. So give us a bit of history. I mean, the famous daughter, Philippa, was sent here to the trust. I mean, what was she like?
Well, first of all, Greg, welcome to our suffragist school. We're part of the Girls' Day School Trust, as you mentioned, which was a truly revolutionary force in late 19th century Victorian Britain. Before the GDST was founded, there was little education for women. If there was education, it was to prepare them to be wives and mothers. And it was the revolutionary, pioneering spirit of the 4 women who founded the GDST, founded schools such as ours, Streatham Clapham High School, that really paved the way for this revolutionary Act of Parliament of 1918, which gave women, or at least some women, the vote. And Philippa Fawcett, as you said, was the daughter of Millicent Fawcett, Dame Millicent, who's about to be honoured with a statue in Parliament Square. It was very clear that Millicent Fawcett wanted for her daughter that sort of academic education that could enable her and her generation to fight for the freedom, for the representation that we're celebrating today.
And just bring in some of the students then. So you are the next generation. What's the next 100 years looking like? I mean, because in some places, I mean, abroad, I mean, some women only just got the right to drive their own cars.
I think today and this year is a very important year because obviously it marks a century of change, or 100 years, but it can be a turning point for us. There's still sexism integrated in industry, in the medical industry, in the entertainment industry, education, government, and I think we need to get rid of that, change it, break down the stigmas and move forward for the next 100 years.
Wow, okay. And what about yourself, Kezia?
Yeah, I completely agree with what Libby said. I feel like we have a long way to go, but I feel like, for example, countries like Iceland have already abolished the pay gap, so we need to follow what they're doing and we can just make as many changes as we can starting from now. We need to really go now.
And what about yourself?
Well, I think there is a lot of progress to be made in England, but we also need to look internationally, and as you say, some women have only just got the right to drive their own cars, and we need to be uplifting the women in those countries and enabling them to fight, because we were able to fight and they should be able to too.
Does it ever put you off in terms of the career choices you're making? I mean, do you know where you want to be and what you want to do? I mean, you mentioned medical science, did you just say?
Well, personally, I don't want to go into medicine. I'm more interested in maybe journalism, but I've never felt inhibited from going into medicine if I want to.
And what about yourself, Kezia? I mean, is it putting you off career choices, thinking things need to change, pay gaps and kind of inequality in the workplace and kind of representation of women?
I think it's certainly frightening sometimes to go into the world as a woman. It is scary, but I feel like going to a GDST school, I'm just taught that I can do anything I want. I'm so comfortable in my own skin that it doesn't really frighten me. It's quite exciting to be able to step into it and just kind of go for it and see what I can do.
Just lastly then, yourself?
Well, I'm very empowered by democracy and being able to change things, so I'd love to pursue a career in politics because I think there is a lack of diversity in government and I'd like to not just sit and complain about it but change it and get out there.
Well, good luck and thank you for speaking to me this morning. Well, Vanessa, later today, as you mentioned earlier, BBC Radio London, Joe Good will have a special programme exploring London's place in the battle for suffragettes. So here at the school in southwest London, I'll hand back to you, Vanessa.
Thank you very much indeed. This is from Dave in Epping, who says, Vanessa, imagine if all those suffragettes who fought so passionately to get the vote for women were brought back to life to see present-day British politics. Personally, I think they'd be overwhelmed with disgust, as our politicians over the past decade and beyond have reduced what was once a privilege to a sad, sick joke. The perpetually declining calibre of government that Vote Now brings you has rendered it an insult to us all. We're taking your calls, 0207 224 2000, and we will be straight back with you after the travel.
Thanks, Vanessa.